Hi, K-pop lovers. Welcome back to our channel. Hey MONSTIEZ, welcome back to the channel. Before we dive in, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. And if you've been waiting for this video just like I have, go ahead and smash that like button and drop a comment below telling me, do you think Rami is coming back? I want to read every single one. Alright, let's get into it, because what I'm about to tell you is something most people have completely gotten wrong. Let's start from the very beginning, because context is everything. On May 9, 2025, YG Entertainment dropped an announcement that shook the entire BABYMONSTER fandom to its core. Rami, the main vocalist, the girl with one of the most powerful and unique voice colors in fourth-generation K-pop, would be going on an indefinite hiatus due to health reasons. YG stated that despite receiving ongoing treatment and expert supervision since her debut, her condition had not improved and that medical professionals had strongly recommended complete rest. The announcement was devastating. Fans had barely had time to fall in love with OT7 BABYMONSTER before one of their most beloved members was suddenly pulled from all activities. Now here's where things start to get complicated, and stay with me here, because this is the part that most people are getting completely wrong. The moment that announcement dropped, two camps immediately formed in the fandom. One side said, "It's just health. Give her time. She'll be back." The other side started spiraling, pointing fingers at YG, questioning everything, and honestly, some of the theories that started circulating were not just wrong, they were damaging. There were rumors that Rami's hiatus was actually a cover story for plastic surgery, a claim that traces back to a comment made by former Mamaland member Daisy about unspecified idols taking breaks for cosmetic procedures. Let me be crystal clear, there is zero credible evidence linking that statement to Rami. None. And spreading that kind of speculation about a teenager dealing with a real medical condition is not something this channel will ever entertain. So what is the confirmed health issue? Rami was diagnosed with pneumothorax, a collapsed lung, prior to her debut. This is a serious medical condition where air leaks into the space between the lung and the chest wall, causing the lung to partially or fully collapse. It is not a minor inconvenience. It is painful, it is dangerous, and in severe or recurring cases, it can take months, sometimes longer, to fully recover from, especially if the person continues to push through activities under intense physical and vocal pressure. And Rami did exactly that. She debuted, she performed, she gave everything she had to BABYMONSTER's meteoric rise, all while quietly managing a condition that most people didn't even know about. That alone tells you everything you need to know about the kind of person Rami is. Now, because I want you to stick with me until the very end of this video, and trust me, the most important part is coming, let me walk you through exactly what happened over the following months, because the timeline tells a very specific story that a lot of people missed. After the May 9th announcement, BABYMONSTER continued their Hello Monsters World Tour as 6 members, completing the Asia leg that included Singapore, Hong Kong, Vietnam, Bangkok, Jakarta, Kuala Lumpur, and Taipei. There was hope, a quiet, cautious hope, that Rami might be well enough to rejoin for the North American leg in the second half of 2025. That didn't happen. Then in July 2025, BABYMONSTER released their pre-release single, Hot Sauce, No Rami. October 2025 brought their second mini-album, We Go Up, No Rami. 2 major comebacks. No Rami. And through all of this, YG's communication to fans was, to put it charitably, almost non-existent. The only meaningful update fans received came not from YG Entertainment, but from BABYMONSTER member Farida during an October fan meeting, where she quietly told a worried fan that Rami was still unwell but getting better. That single sentence kept an entire fandom holding on. But then came something that changed the conversation entirely, and this is where things get genuinely interesting. On December 19, 2025, BABYMONSTER dropped the music video for Supa Dupa Love, a track from the We Go Up mini album. And right at the very end of that MV, something unexpected appeared, a young girl, seen from behind, standing outside a window, watching the BABYMONSTER members. She doesn't join them. She just watches. Fans immediately noticed the silhouette, the positioning, the symbolism of someone on the outside looking in. The fandom collectively lost their minds, and for good reason. This felt intentional. This felt like a message. Many fans interpreted it as a subtle hint from BABYMONSTER or YG that Rami was still very much part of the group's story, watching, waiting, and on her way back. Was it confirmed? No. But was it a coincidence? A lot of people don't think so. And that is the part that most people are getting wrong. The narrative around Rami has been hijacked by two extremes. On one side, blind optimism that ignores the very real severity of her health condition, and on the other side, doomer energy that has already written her out of BABYMONSTER's future without a single official statement to support it. The truth, as always, sits somewhere in the middle, and it's far more nuanced than either camp wants to admit. Here's what we actually know as of February 2026. On February 8, 2026, YG Entertainment released a promotional video for their new boy group auditions. In that video, clips of BABYMONSTER featured the current six-member lineup, without Rami. However, and this detail matters enormously, a separate shot in the same video showing trainee evaluations did include Rami. She wasn't erased. She wasn't gone. She appeared in a different context within the same video, which led many fans to speculate that YG may be considering a direction where Rami remains under YG Entertainment but potentially as a solo artist rather than as a full-time BABYMONSTER member. Now, nothing has been confirmed. This is speculation based on visual evidence from an audition video, but it is the kind of detail that deserves attention. What makes this even more layered is looking at how YG handled the Hyun's hiatus versus how they're handling Rami's. When a Hyun temporarily left before BABYMONSTER's debut, YG consistently referred to the group as a seven-member team and made it clear that a Hyun would return. The messaging was deliberate and reassuring. With Rami, that same energy has been almost completely absent. The group has rarely mentioned her name. In some YouTube content, clips featuring Rami have been blurred or omitted entirely. At the 2025 Mama Awards, one of the biggest nights in K-pop, BABYMONSTER did not mention Rami at all in their acceptance speech. Not a word. For a group that once described themselves as inseparable OT7, that silence is loud. But, and I need you to hear this, silence from YG Entertainment does not equal departure. YG has a long, well-documented history of terrible communication with fandoms. This is the same company that managed Blackpink for years with minimal transparency, that has left fans of multiple artists in communication blackouts for extended periods. YG's silence about Rami is frustrating and genuinely concerning, but it is also entirely consistent with how they operate. It does not automatically mean Rami has left or is leaving BABYMONSTER. There is also the matter of what Rami herself represents to BABYMONSTER's sound. She is the group's main vocalist. Her voice, that high, crystalline, emotionally textured tone, is a defining characteristic of how BABYMONSTER sounds at their best. Listen back to their early content, their covers, their live performances. Rami's voice is not replaceable. It is not interchangeable. The group has continued, and they've continued beautifully, because those six members are extraordinarily talented. But anyone who says they don't miss what Rami's presence added to the group hasn't been paying close enough attention. So what happens next? This is the question. And here's the honest answer: nobody outside of YG Entertainment and Rami herself knows for certain. What we have are clues, patterns, and a fandom that refuses to stop caring. The Supa Dupa Love MV ending gave hope. The February 2026 audition video raised questions. The continued silence from YG keeps everyone on edge. And somewhere, Rami, a 17-year-old who has been fighting a serious lung condition while trying to recover without the world watching her every move, is presumably doing her best to get back to the place she belongs. The most important thing this video wants to leave you with is this: stop letting the loudest voices on social media tell you how this story ends. The people who said Rami was never coming back were wrong. The people who said she'd definitely be back by October 2025 were also wrong. The truth is that this situation is complex, it is ongoing, and it deserves patience and nuance, not hot takes and viral speculation. Rami is not a plot twist. She is a real person, dealing with a real medical condition, in one of the most demanding industries in the world. The best thing MONSTIEZ can do is what they've already been doing: holding on, keeping her name alive, and trusting that if and when the time is right, Rami will walk back through that window. Because if that super duper love MV ending meant anything at all, she's not gone. She's just waiting on the other side of the glass. Alright MONSTIEZ, that is everything we know about Rami's situation as of right now, February 2026, with all the facts laid out, no rumors, no clickbait theories, just the full picture. If this video gave you something to think about, please hit that like button, it genuinely helps this channel more than you know. And if you want to stay up to date on every Rami and BABYMONSTER update as it happens, subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're always first to know. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Rami will return as part of BABYMONSTER 07, or do you think her future with the group looks uncertain? I read every single comment. Share this video with a fellow Monstie who needs to see the full picture, not just the rumors. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care, Monstees. Annyeong.